Forecast.
Happy New Year, guys. This is a weekly forecast for January 4th through the 8th of 2021. Okay, we'll start off with the Aussie NZD pair. Okay, this is a monthly chart. Okay, we're talking about this strong double bottom against this weak short trend line. Okay, so we're long biased to the target of at least this trend line level or this pivot high, right? Those levels are 1.1037 or 1.0943. Okay. Now, what happened last week was, if you recall, I was talking about a common way that price goes back up on these types of pullbacks. Is that right here? This is a 4-hour chart. Price makes a long, weak short, long, weak short, and price just repeats this, stopping out the weak shorts. Now that pattern broke down last week right here. So there was a long, but it got stopped out. So what we want to be looking for at this point, let's go back to the daily chart, is price to respect these new trend lines. So hold on. Okay, so from this pivot to this pivot, and this pivot to this pivot. We want price to respect these trend lines while maintaining compact price action. And that may lead to a nice entry long to that monthly target. Okay. Another thing you want to be looking for on the daily chart is that there's a gap right here between these two candles. We want to make sure price remains above these levels, this gap level. Okay. So even if it pulls back, as long as it closes above, it'll be fine. So even pull back these trend lines, the wicks could go, but the close can't be under this trend line, under this gap. Okay. Now the entry could form also on the 4-hour chart. Ooh, that's huge. Okay, so it's the same thing, but we're using those daily trend lines, right? So we want price to go like this. And possibly that could lead to that monthly target. Okay. I'll keep you guys updated with this trade on the midweek analysis. So, yeah, just make sure if you have time to watch that, because price, price action, it changes every day. Okay. Okay, so let's go on to the Euro-Yen pair. Okay, Euro-Yen. All right, so this is a Euro-Yen weekly chart, right? Strong long, weak short, and so we were long biased until at least that stop loss target right here. Now, price hit that target last week. Okay. Now, fundamentally, we're still in a long bias market, right? So some basic levels to be watching out for will be, whoa, that's crazy. All right, so there's a couple levels, right? So if you're long this trade, watch out for this level, from this pivot to this pivot. See, another high one, this pivot to this pivot. And this major pivot to this pivot, right? Okay. So you want to be watching out for those levels. The price on those levels are 129.01. Excuse me. 127.52. And this level we're on currently. So 126.43. If you're long this trade, those are some obvious targets to look out for. Okay. So let's see. Look on the 4-hour chart. Right, price just hit its target, and it's a really neutral market at this point, although on the long term it's still long biased. Okay, so what we want, or what I want to look for, what I'm looking for, is similar to the last trade we had. I'd rather have another short to form. This is a weekly chart. Allow price to fall again, and then take that long to the new stop loss of that short trade that may form. Okay, that way we have a static target. Okay, so that's what I want. But if you're long this trade, like I said earlier, just watch out for those levels on the monthly chart. Right, so this one, and this one. Okay. Okay, so let's go on to the Nzdusd USD. Nzdusd, okay, this is a daily chart. Alright, so this is a week-long trade. Price went up solely based on momentum. And so we're looking for a short trade. Right back down to this target right here at this stop loss. So that would be at 0.6580. Right? Okay, so last week I was talking about, this is a 4-hour chart. Right, the first sign of waning momentum are obvious trendline breakouts. That happened. Then as the week went along, there was a possible short pattern forming, right? So we had this possible, wow, what happened? Excuse me. All right, so we had this possible HNS, right? And you also have this possible double top, right? So those patterns are out of the question, they already broke out. So how we want to trade this level and sell it again, something we want to be looking for. If you look on the monthly chart, there's really no levels above here, no obvious resistance, right? So when this happens, commonly, this is a daily chart, price begins to respect its own trend line. Okay, so what you want to be doing is start drawing trend lines to the new pivots as they form. Remember to just use the most obvious pivots that you can find, right? There's the obvious pivot here. And see if price, right, begins to respect that, again with compact price action. Okay, and at the same time, there's a 4-hour chart. We want price to round out and not have any sudden moves, right? So we don't want price to go straight down like that. We want it to round out like that. Okay. Okay. Oh, and please subscribe if you like these videos. And please push the like button. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Okay, so let's keep going. Okay, let's go to the Euro USD. Okay, so the Euro USD, this is a monthly chart. Let's see which trend line. Okay, I think it's this pivot to this pivot. All right, it's a little bit lower. Okay, so I'm pretty sure a lot of people are viewing this breakout right here to be very long biased, right? And I think there is a lot of long momentum in here, but the overall trend still, I think it's down, right? Because this price action right here is very strong down. And this move, it hasn't gone its distance yet. I think it could go lower. So the first target would be this pivot low, okay? So, but just remember, this is a long-term thing. So for the time being, it could still be long biased. Okay. Okay, let's go to daily. Nope. Okay, so the 4-hour chart. This price action right here really shows a lot of momentum long still. So I'm pretty sure you could take these longs if you want to. But one thing you want to be careful for is, this is a 4-hour chart, right? That's, wow, it's got a UFO. Okay, let's go all the way back. Right, in this area right here, this is in 2013, I think. What year is this? Yeah, 2013, there's a huge gap on the 4-hour chart. Now, typically what happens, especially in the long markets, right, on huge gaps like that, price really grunges up. It doesn't have like clean movements, right? So price often, as it goes through that huge gap, it goes up and then goes down, goes up. So it's really hard to day trade something like this. It's a different story if you had a long way down here, then that's fine. But if you're going to start entering trades long at this point, it's going to be very choppy. So take targets early, preferably wider stop losses maybe. Okay. And ultimately we want to be short biased, right? So we'll go back to the monthly chart. And ultimately we want to be short biased, right? Actually, there's one level you want to look for. So if you're long this trade, right, an obvious target is right here. This pivot to this pivot, that's a strong trend line. Oh, it doesn't look right. Oh, wrong one, I'm sorry. This pivot to this pivot, right? So this level right here at 1.2465 is definitely a level you want to be looking for. It has confluence with these highs too, so okay. Okay. All right, so let's keep going to the Usdjpy. Oh, and I started a video series about price action for the intermediate trader. So I'm going to explain, it's for the intermediate trader, but how to trade price action, right? And a lot of the analysis on these forecast videos is using price action. So I think if you watch those videos, you'll have a better understanding of what I'm talking about on these forecasts and midweek analysis. Okay, so if you have time, please check that out. Okay. All right, so Usdjpy. This is a monthly chart. Our ultimate target is down here at this pivot low. All right, let's see what the number is right there. All right. Wow, you hear those bells. It's 5 o'clock over here. Okay, so that low right there is 101.11. Right, so ultimately we're targeting there. But before that, I'm pretty sure price will pull back to 107, possibly 109, and then fall down to that target. Okay, so some things to be looking for. Let's see, so there's a monthly chart. One level you want to be looking for is this trend line right here. So from this pivot to this pivot. Okay. For this long trade to happen, we want price to again start respecting this trend line with compact price action. Okay. Now, when this goes up though, one thing you want to remember is that, let's go down to the weekly chart. Price, in order to reach 107, it's going to have to go through this strong gap level right here. Okay, this right here, this gap level. Okay. Now, if price gets past that, then I think it'll open room to 107, then possibly 109. Right? So if you're going to long this trade, I would take some profits right here. right, at this gap level, in this level. So that's the level is 105.27 to like 104.39. Okay, and then possibly go for the rest of your lots to 107. Okay. Yeah. Okay, on the lower time frames, let's see what's happening. Right. So price is still falling. It's falling based on this weekly trend line, right? But the price action on those tests are very weak, although it's going down. Okay. So for the time being, it still looks like there'll be a pullback. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your holidays. And please make sure to watch the midweek analysis, because price changes all the time, right? Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.